Hello, all. I am Tara. I am a spiritual teacher, coach, and owner of Courageously Living. And everything I try to do, I try to be really, really practical and have it easily integrated into your life. And I wanted to do a video on fear to love. We always have the choice how we're reacting to something, if we're reacting from a place of fear or a place of joy. But there is this huge, mess of chaos between something that's super fearful and something that's super joyful. And in all of the graphics that I see, it's usually a straight line. And, here are your emotions that you go through. Well, what I have found in my life and in other people's lives, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't even go up and down in a straight line. There is a graphic that I'm putting up right now that I created, and to me, it's much more encompassing of the way going from fear to love actually is. And I'm also going to pause here and make this picture the full screen so that you can grab a screenshot of it if you would like. All right, great. Now that you got your screenshot, let's talk a little bit about this because even, you know, people are always like, well, it'll be easy. Just, lean more into love or just let go of your fears. Those are great. And yes, they technically are correct. What I have found in my own life and working with people over the years is it's not that simple. You are at different spots in that chaos. And then you've got chaos outside of yourself too. And you're like, I can't even figure this out. So, what I have found to be helpful is to really kind of do three main things as you are trying to move from that place of fear to that place of joy. And your first thing is acknowledge your feelings wherever you are today or right this minute. It might change in a day, it might change in an hour. Where are you feeling right now when you check in? Wherever you are is fine. It's acknowledging that. It's not trying to hide it, it's not trying to make it something that you're not right now. Number two is now that you've acknowledged it, make time to feel it. If you're feeling angry, feel angry. Now, again, be careful to not take that anger out onto somebody else or yourself, but you can sit in anger. Maybe it's such a thing that you say, hey, you know what? I'm feeling angry right now. I just kind of need 5 minutes by myself. If you can tell your family that. Obviously, at work, that's a lot harder to do. But how can you feel that anger, especially at work? Maybe it is putting on, do not disturb on your IM. If you can, go for a walk a little bit. And sometimes you can't. But if you can, try to acknowledge it and sit with it, even if it's for a couple minutes. Maybe you feel angry for the day. Acknowledge it and try to make the time to feel it. Even if you're journaling, if you're just grumpy in the car. And I know that sometimes it is different because people are always like, well, why are you angry? Snap out of it. That's not super helpful advice. Sometimes it's just helpful to be angry or to be sad. It's about learning how to communicate in your surroundings with making the time to feel that. And if you have a family, that's harder. If you're at your job, that's harder, but it's not impossible. It's just going to take a little bit more time to figure out how you can make some time to feel that. And then number 3 is really about stretching yourself for just one thing each day. Maybe you say one thing you are grateful for today. Maybe tomorrow you listen to an uplifting video or a podcast. Maybe you wake up and you look in the mirror and you just smile a little bit at yourself. You know you're still angry, you're still feeling depressed, you're still feeling whatever. And you're like, for this little tiny sliver of the day, I'm going to stretch and I'm going to do something that I'm a little uncomfortable with. And when I was dealing with a lot of fear and a lot of grief, because those things overlap so much, it was finding those little tiny slivers of doing things. There was days that I couldn't listen to an uplifting podcast, but I could maybe do one thing of gratitude. I could say someone I was grateful for, or something in my life I was grateful for. And I did that for a couple of days. And then I was like, okay, I can do that. Maybe today I'll smile just a little bit. Not a full-on smile, but maybe a little bit. And it's whatever you're doing that feels okay to you. Those are just 3 suggestions of how to kind of start to move through things. It is going to be on your own time, and it is going to change on a daily basis. And the more that you are willing to step up and say, this is where I am, even if it's just to yourself, that helps you because you're acknowledging it. You're not trying to suppress it. You're not trying to pretend it doesn't exist. That's part of how I got into such trouble myself, is I refused for so long to acknowledge I was not okay. Because everyone expected me to be fine. I expected myself to be fine. So I hid it. This isn't the time to hide things from yourself. If you have a community, that's great to talk about it in. But even if it's just being honest with yourself, that's huge. Truly huge for you. And there is daily videos on here. Yes, they're more joyful than you probably are feeling. That might be your stretch. One of the things I mentioned in my why am I doing these videos is to keep those daily videos on a really low volume. So you're not even necessarily hearing them. They're just kind of that background noise for you. That is one of the things that definitely helped me as I moved through periods in my own life, is having that just kind of really low volume of uplifting stuff. I listen to a lot of Super Soul Sundays from Oprah as well. So that's also another option that you could do. There are options for you when you're making decisions from a place of fear versus a place of love. It does have a different energy. and it's hard to have that difference. But it is possible to try to stretch yourself just a little bit each day. Even if it's such a tiny thing. Maybe you actually enjoy a cup of tea. That's okay. You enjoyed something during the day. It's gonna help you move through things. All right, that is all I have for you on this video. Please make sure you give yourself a self-hug. That is also a very small little thing that you can do to help kind of move from your fear into something else, into another emotion, into another feeling. You are enough right now, today, no matter where you are, what you are feeling, or where you are. All right, I will see you in the next video. Bye.